So I just finished a meditation, hence why my voice is all groggy right now. Um, and it was totally unexpected. Like this whole thing evolved, and I wanted to share it because I think it's a really cool practice. Um, so I have a defined ajna, and for someone who has like all of my arrows pointed to the right, like I should be really, like flowing in my thoughts and how my brain works and all of that stuff. But like, of course, I am. But I think having the defined ajna um, makes me a very analytical person. Like everything, my thoughts are very structured in that way. And I have heard other people speak about um, when you have a defined ajna, or let's say you're a mental projector, and like on my personality side, I am a mental projector. So I definitely have that kind of feeling of like not being able to turn off your thoughts and like quiet your mind when you're meditating. Like it takes me a bit of time to kind of get into it. And so I had this like fun little thought that evolved into this whole thing. And it was excellent. So, the beginning of this meditation, I was like, okay, I just need to like soothe my ajna. Like I just need to like quiet her down a bit. And so as I was thinking that, I'm like, I'm just gonna like pretend like I'm like sudsing her up. I'm gonna like wash her. So I imagined having like a big like loofah, but it was, like a futuristic modern like loofah, kind of almost like just this big soapy bubble kind of thing. And so I started with my ajna, and I just like, and it was from this perspective. So I was laying down, and it was imagining like I had this big soapy bubble loofah thing that I was gently just washing my ajna. And like I imagine it as like this like three-dimensional, almost like this large gem, like where it's like the triangle, but or triangle, and you have it's like a whole formed thing. And so I'm like washing my ajna, and I'm like sudsing her all up, and so smooth. And it's like, like if you're like washing a dog or something, and they're just kind of like really enjoying it, and they're just kind of going with it. And then I thought, I'm like, why don't I just like clean all of my defined centers? Like I feel like we always have so much emphasis on deconditioning our undefined centers, but like we don't give any love to the places where we're defined, and like they're working hard, right? Like they're constantly on. So I thought I would just give my defined centers a little wash. And so I went through each center. So I have my ajna, my throat, my G center, my spleen, and my root defined. And so I'm a split definition. And and it was amazing. So I like very slowly and intentionally like had this big soap bubble, and I went through like every edge of each of my big defined gems, my three-dimensional gems. And then it was beautiful. And then as I was at the like spleen and about to move to the root center, I realized, I was like, whoa, my ajna is chilling right now. Like nobody is talking, no thoughts are going around. Like she's up here and she's full of soap, and she's like decompressing, she's like cleaning herself. And so I finished, and I like did the root, and then I just laid there for a moment, and I allowed each breath that I took, and like incorporating humming into this would be even better, but I allowed each exhale to almost be like a vibration that, like, how when those like ultrasonic toothbrushes, and you have a special toothpaste for them because the like suds of the toothpaste combined with the like ultrasonic vibration of the toothbrush create like it breaks down more of the tartar or whatever on your teeth. So that's what I imagined happened each time I exhaled. So I imagined the vibration of my exhale. And so like that's why like if you hummed, like the vibration of your hum was this like ultrasonic sudsy, thing that was further breaking down any like calcification that had built up on my defined centers. And so I thought that was a really cool kind of like piece to it. And then after I was like, okay, I feel like, clean in the sense, then I just allowed, as I was doing this, I like rested the little suds bubble on my ajna so that like, okay, so now everybody's kind of cleaning themselves. That I didn't want my ajna to kind of like kick back up. So I kind of just like almost like a octopus or a squid on your forehead. I like put the soap bubble on my ajna, and anytime I kind of started a thought to come by, I just like moved the soap bubble around and like did another like wash, and it was so relaxing. It was seriously the most effective meditation I've had, where I didn't feel like I was, sometimes when you're meditating and you're like following along or you're doing a mantra or whatever, sometimes you're still thinking about stuff and whatever, and you're not totally relaxed. I was like in this like soaped up world, living my best life. And it was amazing. So anyways, then I was like, okay, so now it's time to like end the meditation, or like I guess go to the next phase, because I have to like rinse myself off, right? And so I imagined that I was like had water on the top of me, and so I was like rinsing the like loofah bubble thing, and then I just kind of put that to the side, and so then I removed the handle of the faucet or whatever they're called, and then I was just like and again, it's this perspective, so I'm laying down and it's like this like handle of water that's rinsing every part of my defined gem. And I was just like so intentional and like really just like cleaned it up, like treated my defined centers with like such love and respect and appreciation, and then went through each center and like cleaned them all up and rinsed them all off. And then I imagined having like a really soft like chamois type thing, and I just like I was like polishing my prized possessions, like I was like polishing a trophy or like a whatever, and I just like dried them all up and like made them all shiny and delicious, and yeah. And then it's like, and I just feel amazing. I feel like I'm like clean, I feel like I'm like recalibrated and recentered and just like completely like grounded in myself. And also I feel like very relaxed in my mind. It's like very clear and very almost quieted in a sense. Like I don't have any thoughts that are coming up for like anything I have to do. Like I feel totally present in this moment and just very relaxed. So I think that that's a really cool little meditation practice. And if you see this video and if you try that practice, like let me know, because like I said, and I'll say this in like all of my videos, the thing that lights me up the most, that like brings me the most joy, is me having an idea, me sharing that idea, and then somebody else practicing that idea and it working for them. Like that's literally like my life is complete, And I don't know, because maybe it's from my 4323, like that's how I'm the mental projector. That's like 4323 ajna to throat on my conscious side. Like that's the only thing I have defined in my chart when you look at that side. And it's like, I get these ideas and I get these like wild thoughts and these like where I compile different things together, and I get a bit of that and a bit of that, and I make the connection, and I'm like, yeah, that could work for this. And then I test it and it's like, yeah, that fucking worked. And like obviously I know that not every strategy is going to work for everyone, but I heard someone in a podcast one time say that, it's not about like if you're a coach or if you're somebody um, like a trainer of any sort, and you are sharing something that worked, it's not necessarily to be like, do this exactly the way that I did it, and you'll get exactly the results that I got, because that's just wildly unrealistic. But I think that, and what she said in the podcast was, I'm sharing the strategies that worked for me and the steps that I used, and then you can take that and you can do two things. You can go and you can test it out in exactly the way that I did it, because that's like the framework, that's your like phase one kind of thing. And then whatever doesn't work or whatever is not feeling right, you can make the adjustment from that point. And then also you have more like information around it, that it's like, instead of starting from ground zero and going like, okay, I don't even know what's the first thing to do, it's a nice launching pad for you that you can like go and be like, you know what, I really liked this, this, and this, and I didn't like that. And so instead of doing this, I'm going to change that to something else. And now you have like restructured your own strategy for yourself, and you've made it work for you, and like that's literally better. Like I would rather have someone go like, I loved these parts and I changed this and these are the results that I got. I'd be like, amazing. Amazing. So yeah, like I said, if you try it and you like it or you make changes, let me know, because I think that's just the coolest thing ever. So have an awesome day, and I'll catch you in the next video.